Jim, nice to talk to you. Chris and Mike in New York. How are you today?
I'm good, guys. How are you guys doing?
Well, Jim, you can't be too good. You got to be disappointed. I mean, you just went on one of the crazy rides of the last couple of weeks here, huh?
You know, I am very disappointed, Mike. You know, I mean, obviously I am. And it was kind of a shock. It was a shock, in fact. But you know what? I honestly believe this. I mean this sincerely. Everything always works out for the best in my life, and something's going to work out. I got some things that are going to be special in my life, and I'll resurface and it'll be fine.
Jim, did you recommend the offensive and defensive coordinators to Snyder when you met with him those 2 times there about 3 or 4 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago? Did you specifically put the Zorn and Blash on your lists?
Yeah, I had them down, and I gave them basically 3 names, and we discussed each guy, and then kind of, you know, when it's all said and done, I put Jim Zorn down number 1, and I knew that Vinny Serrata really liked him because he's known him for a long time. And then on defense, I know Rex Ryan was part of the conversation, and then we talked about Greg Blash, and I said, the guy is an experienced, very qualified coordinator. I know they told me the players like him. I said, the system can stay the same. I said, it makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, I was involved in everything that all the staff moves they made, yeah, I was involved in it.
Jim, were you nervous that you didn't get the job, you know, right off that second interview and you had to sit there and wait through a Super Bowl and everything else? Does that make you nervous, or do you still think even the last weekend in Phoenix that you were the front runner to get this job?
Well, I thought all the time that I was a front runner, and I felt very comfortable from the vibes I got from the people there and all around, and I always, it makes you nervous, every time until the thing is done, you're nervous. Okay, it doesn't matter what people are telling you, but I felt good about it, and then the people that I surround myself with that advise me and those type of people say, Jim, you just got to think common sense decision making. Common sense says it's you, and so I mean, there was too many reasons to think that was going to happen. Then it wasn't going to happen.
Talking with Jim Fassel here, Jim Zorn, the new coach, surprisingly, of the Redskins. Tough question for you to answer, Jim, but I'll ask it anyway because it's been asked of us, and it's probably been asked of a lot of people. You have a good record. You went to a Super Bowl. You won a couple divisions. You have a winning record over 7 years in New York. Why has Jim Fassel not gotten a second chance to be a head coach when so many people have gotten a second chance to be a head coach?
Well, it's a long explanation, Mike, and it's a very good question. Right now in this league, if you'll track everything, let me just tell you a couple things real quick.
Go ahead.
People still are looking for the young guys. I mean, out of the 4 coaches hired this year, 3 weren't coordinators. All the statistics show your best opportunity to win. 9 out of 11 of the last Super Bowl coaches were guys like Tom Coughlin. Fired his first job, came back, took a team to the Super Bowl.
Bill Belichick,
right. Mike Shanahan, right. Tony Dungy. You keep going down the list.
Gruden, all the way down the list, yeah.
But the only one that I can think of that didn't go back and become a coordinator before he replaced it was Tony Dungy. But Tony had a winning record and a pretty impressive record.
Yep.
Well, I had a winning record. We weren't that far off, and the only thing I had over him was I took a team to the Super Bowl. So my biggest mistake was going to Baltimore. That was the biggest mistake. I don't think I needed to do that. And when I went there, and it was such a mess, and got caught up on all that stuff.
Well, you went there because it was one of your best friends, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it was I will say this. It was the biggest mistake I've ever made in making a coaching decision.
Wow, because you had a bad situation, and all it did was hurt your good name and hurt your resume? Is that the basic problem?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people told me if you just stayed out and done TV and radio and that stuff, it would have changed the whole perception of you. But that, it still doesn't matter.
So you now have to overcome Baltimore now more than anything else.
I think so. Yeah, okay. But the problem with that is that it still goes back to relationships. I can take you through step by step every coach hired, and I'll tell you where it comes from. I mean, Tom Coughlin got hired with the Giants. Well, he had a relationship, right?
Yes, with Wellington.
Okay. Yeah. Bill Belichick got hired at New England. He'd worked there. He knew Kraft.
Right.
You keep going down the list of all these teams. I can talk about anybody you want to talk about. John Fox down in Carolina. You can talk about Eric Mangini at the Jets. You just go, and it's about, you know, the person that's making the decision, and they know you. And there's a comfort level. There is no question there's a comfort level.
What did you feel was different this go-around with Snyder than the first go-around with Snyder, where he almost got the job before he turned to Gibbs? Was it just a continuation of good interviews the first go-through with Snyder? What was different this go-around for you with the Redskins owner?
Well, I think that, you know, I know enough people up there in that building that they said, you know, Dan really thinks the world of you. And I believe that. And I like him. There's not a bad bone in my body about Dan Snyder. I wish he could win because he's passionate about the Redskins. People don't always agree with his decisions. I like the guy, and I could work for the guy. I know that. When it came down to it, I'm sure, you know, like the thought process of a lot of people. It's, you know, we got this guy in the building. He's very glib. He's very polished. He's very this. He's very that. He's very everything. And maybe Jim Fassel won't play well. I don't know.